Hi, I'm Dave Priestley, and I had a client in my office a couple weeks ago, and he suggested that I do this little video on this topic that we were working on, and it's reducing anxiety, how we can individually reduce anxiousness that we feel. And all of us have that built into us to an extent. Some of us it's high anxiety, and some of us it's low anxiety, but we have that emotion and and mood sometimes built into us to help us in one way or another. Only sometimes it doesn't help us. Sometimes it really keeps us from accomplishing things that we want to. It keeps us from sleeping. It keeps us from accomplishing the hopes that we want to engage in different things. And so I've got this little skill, this little technique that I've been working with or working on with clients that seems to really help. And so here's an example of it. Say somebody's coming into me for counseling, and they're quite an anxious person. They can't sleep. They have a hard time focusing. They have a hard time engaging in different things because they get so anxious. And I always find myself telling them, save that for me. Save that for when you come in and let's work through that. And so it's what they end up doing is they end up writing a list of things to talk to me about, things that have been creeping into their lives that they're finding themselves being really anxious about or that they're really struggling with. And so they're keeping that list. And so as things go through their mind, they're able to identify that, write it down, save it for Dave on Tuesday at 3, I'm going to work on this. And it seems to kind of be a nice little tool for them to recognize, or for their mind to focus and recognize on the fact that I'm going to deal with that, but I'm going to deal with that Tuesday at 3 when I meet with Dave. And it seems to kind of really help. And the more I've thought about it, and the more I've worked with people, the more I've thought the fact that any of us can do that with ourselves. Schedule a time to deal with those anxious thoughts and feelings. And so in other words, maybe we can't sleep. We keep thinking about things, keep thinking about things, keep thinking about things. And if I like to use a calendar where I write it down. Lots of people are using their phones now, but I like to use a calendar just to write things down. And as I write that stuff down, this is what happens, is that it gives my head a place for that to go. So I write that down. Tuesday after work, I'm going to deal with this, or I'm going to deal with that on Wednesday morning when I get to work. And so it's what it does. Instead of me sitting there worrying about that, I have it scheduled of when I'm actually going to deal with that thing that's creating that anxiety for me. And so essentially is what it does if we schedule that out, is that it puts us in a place basically for a problem solving process to deal with what we are going through. One thing that I like of what it does, it also kind of helps decipher what I have control about and what I don't, or what I have control over and what I don't. And so in regards to that anxiousness that we feel, lots of things we have control over and lots of things we don't. But the things that we do have control over when we're anxious is what happens is that oftentimes nothing gets accomplished to meet the need or to work through things or whatever. And so it might be as simple as, you know what, on Wednesday morning when I get to work, I'm gonna deal with this. It might be as simple as writing pros and cons down. It might be something as simple as calling so-and-so. It might be simple as scheduling an appointment that I need to schedule. It might be as simple as doing a little bit of paperwork that I need to get done, or whatever it might be, or small tasks that we have. And so if you'll find yourself in that anxious state, if you can schedule a time to deal with that, schedule a concrete time that you are going to focus on that, it seems to really work. People are coming back to me saying, wow, I didn't realize just by scheduling myself out that I can work through those things in a healthy, positive, good way. And it kind of just gives your head a place for that to go. So kind of a simple little thing that maybe we wouldn't think of, but schedule your time to work on those anxious thoughts and feelings. They're probably valid, lots of them. Lots of those things that pop into your mind are probably quite valid. And so if you'll schedule a time to deal with it, I think that you'll find that you'll become more effective in working through things and more importantly, reducing that anxiety so you're more effective in how and when you